Stream it. All right. Just doing some late night drawing. Late night boiling. I'm just addicted to making my drawings boil. Yeah, Mr. McGlubin. How's it going? What's up, Ninetails? You're petting your bestie's cat. That sounds good. Sounds therapeutic. Just tracing my lines. We're gonna do this for like 2 hours. I wish my cat would get chunky. My cat... I think my cat runs around so much all day. And she is finicky. So she stays skinny. I want my cat to get chunky. Hey, Dip, what's up? What you guys got going on today? This evening? Cryodip is in Florida, I think, so it's pretty late, right? It's probably like 1 or 2 in the morning or something. I thought about playing video games till I go to sleep, but I was like, you know what? It was been so hot out that I'm not getting much done during the day. I'm just like laying around trying to survive. And then when it finally cools down at night, I feel like I should do something like productive, you know? Not just doom scroll. And play Mortal Shell, which I've been enjoying. Scratching that Dark Souls itch. Oh, Balatro, nice. That is a nasty, nasty game. I love playing Balatro on the plane. It makes the time go fast. I saw the makers of Inscription have a new game coming out too soon. Or soonish. It's pretty exciting for me. Ah, the Abyss can wait. Nice. What's up, Bear? 7576. Yeah, if you want to hang out while I draw, chat it up or whatever. Just making one of my forming pages boil. Because I'm actually waiting on a sound pass on my forming pilot. It's supposed to come in tonight, but I can't ask the guy to actually deliver on time because he's doing it pro bono, so I'm sort of on his schedule. Or I'm definitely on his schedule. But I think I'm going to do a stream where we finesse all the sound and all that kind of stuff with this sound studio I'm working with, Hacienda Post. So that'll be cool. What's up, Sort of Salt? Northern Lights. I've never seen Northern Lights in person. That's pretty sad. Optimizing in Balatro. I just found I started just what my problem was, I was just chasing certain hands and I couldn't get over it. I couldn't switch up my gameplay. From like Full House and Four of a Kinds. I really like playing Slay the Spire, and I'm excited for the new Slay the Spire to come out. That's gonna make all my plane rides much more manageable. There's some scary Northern Lights legends? What are some scary Northern Lights legends? Do Northern Lights get mixed up with like UFO stuff? And like demonic entities or something? Slay the Spire seems like too much of a time suck, but I know everyone raves about Inscription, or however you spell. Ah, dude, if you like Balatro, oh my god, you gotta play. Inscription is like the high art. It's like the high art deck builder. It's such a good game. It's so, like, it's a absolutely must play experience. It's like a really unexpected type of game. Yeah, it has a bunch of multimedia twists and turns, which is really cool to see in a video game. What's up, Ochang? One time I was in a circle of people smoking weed, and we looked up and they were in a circle of Northern Lights directly above us. It was freaky. What do you mean they were in a circle? Are you talking about like orbs? We could get into talking about orbs. YouTube music audio is louder than your microphone. Oh shit, sorry. Sorry, I've got a jam in today, sorry. I'll turn it down. Let me know if that's good. Like every night during winter, unless it's cloudy, sometimes they're faint. What? What is? The northern lights, or are you talking about orbs? Sorry about that. I never know if my mix is good. I can see my levels, but I can't hear it in my headphones if the mix is right, because I'm just hearing my own direct audio. So thank you for anytime my audio is like the levels aren't right, just let me know. Yeah, Yuri Kusama just died. Yeah, a bunch of people died. Dolly Parton, Tim Curry, and Yayoi Kusama. All in the last couple days. That's how it goes, I guess. Circle of life. She was nearly 100, so like, good job, but I didn't know she was nearly 100. It's a good life. I don't, I don't know her work that well. I just see it, in pictures here and there. I was a big Tim Curry fan, though. I used to watch Rocky Horror Picture Show every morning before going to school in high school. Just turn on Rocky. I had a VHS tape of Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I would just like watch the last like 15 minutes of it before going to school. Our outdoor camera caught a couple orbs following my mom and late dog, though, on the topic of orbs. Yeah, orbs. I often confuse Tim Curry with Jim Carrey. Same syllables, I guess. Very different quality of acting style. The one that was kind of uncanny for me was David Hockney and Jerry Moriarty. I don't know who Jerry Moriarty is. Who's that? He's the cartoonist who paints. Pretty sure he's the reason a lot of people know Fletcher Hanks. Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't know Jerry Moriarty. I used to have a David Hockney painting in my bathroom that I like to stare at. I've still got to finish the palm wine drinker, but it seemed similar to Alice in Wonderland, which I like. Definitely made me being on a hiatus and not the content I'm reading. Nice. I think the palm wine drinker is such a fun book. I love the writing style in it. Okay. Well, that's my first line boil. Done. So let's go to line boil 2. This is when Serapis gets big and eats the whole family, right? Yes. He turns into some sort of proto-human Adam Cadmon being. My favorite Jerry Moriarty comic is Jack Survives. I haven't read it. What? How old was Jerry Moriarty? Who were his contemporaries, and who was publishing his stuff? Like Ben Catchor, sort of drawn like Mazzucchelli when he was first starting Rorovic. Oh, okay. That's like slightly outside of my areas of interest. Ben Catchor. I forget what his stuff looks like. Ben Catchor. Oh yeah, Ben Catchor. I do not like his stuff. Oops. Am I not supposed to say that? Fuck. I just let that slip. Interesting. I mean, his stuff is like interestingly, like uniquely his. It's just not for me. I remember his stuff used to pop up all the time. back when I was really in the loop of comics. David Mazzucchelli also, like, I really like his Batman, Daredevil stuff, his drawings and his blocking and his general approach to superhero comics, but I didn't care for his personal comics. Sort of like yeah, like a generation above me, literary style kind of stuff, like Astros Polyp. Was that what it's called? Astros Polyp? Didn't like that one. Didn't enjoy that book. Actually found it slightly offensive. As like an exercise of like on the nose metaphor, visual metaphor kind of exercise, I guess. Just too literal. But really, like, impressive in another way, I guess. Rubber Blankets. Yeah, I never read Rubber Blankets. Rubber Blanket. Formalism. Yeah, formalism. Okay. Jack survives. I can check that out. Anyway, Ninetales, you saw some orbs. I don't know. I've never seen orbs. Maybe someday. I guess I could go outside to the desert and try to manifest some orbs. What's the purpose of tracing? I'm trying to make a boil. Boil is like when an image is standing still, but it still looks like it's alive. It's not just a still drawing, but the lines are just inaccurately traced, so it makes the drawing kind of come to life. And I'm just doing it for fun because I currently have nothing to work on at the moment, really. I mean, I have a little things I could be working on, but they're not so big that there's any sort of time rush. So I'm like, okay, I'll just make some promotional drawings of my comic and make them boil and post music to it and make a Instagram reel and, you know, just for fun. This seems to be like some sort of therapeutic thing for me right now that I've discovered to do. I can kind of shut my brain off and talk to people, and I don't have to do a lot of creative thinking. I can just kind of find a panel I like that I think would be cool to see kind of come to life, like Frankenstein's monster, you know? I thought I was done doing these, but then I just was like, I'll do another one. Why not? I'm a floating orb from the Northern Lights. Ask me anything. I would think where you are, Ninetales, there'd be more higher density of orb activity, but I don't know. What's my general philosophy with line work shading? I was doing some quasi-pixel artwork today and was reminded, damn, there's a science to all this shit. Line work shading? You mean cross-hatching and stuff? I'm not sure what you mean. I just try to do some pretty clean line if I can, but not so clean that it loses its personality. And that's sort of where I am with my line work. Like, I don't want the hand of the artist to be invisible. Like, you color something a specific tone and then shade and hue. You color something a specific tone and shade and hue of green. And then you add an outline to that. It's presumably like a different tone, saturation, hue, value, or... Oh, okay. Well, here's what I'll say about that. So forming this comic that I started in 2008, I think, early 2009. This comic is probably the last comic that I'll ever do that's color that I use black outlines. And even as I went along with forming later in the later issues, I started messing around with colored outlines that would be like complementary to the fill, you know. And I started also trying to get away from, as much as I could here and there, getting away from outlining things. So now, you know, especially my background art, if you look at like Jesus 2 and stuff like that, I really have drifted away from outlines. And I just want things to feel like more fully rendered and volumetric. Oh, it's not going to be my last comic, period. I have an idea for a new comic that is brewing that I think could last me a really long time. As far as the subject matter goes. I was thinking, you know, because forming is like the product of a certain era of my life when I was really looking up and sort of like in defiance of material reality, you could say. And then I lived a life for like 15 years and experienced a lot of sort of strange realities, I guess you could say. Is the subject matter power? You could almost say that, yeah. I'm not quite ready to talk about it yet. But I think the subject is more grounded in like material reality than anything I've done before. And me contending with it. So we'll see. Unless I have some major revelation in my life that like completely changes my trajectory. You know, you go through these phases, so you have to capture these like, you know, decade, 2 decade long phases of thinking and try to like be true to that. So I'm definitely not the same person I was 15 years ago. I mean, I am in some ways, but not in others. For better or for worse. My dad saw something with long black flowy hair walk by the kitchen there too when he was walking up from the basement. He was experiencing a Japanese horror movie. Speaking of comics, I've always been wanting to adapt a comic to an animated short for my portfolio. I've never really done something like this. I'd like your opinion on how to translate comics to animation. Should I take a course for storyboarding? I don't think you need to take a course for storyboarding. I mean, I don't know how well you can draw, but you could just read this PDF called Storyboarding the Simpsons Way. That's easy to find online. And that probably teaches you most of the fundamentals of storyboarding you ever need to know. Just Google Storyboarding the Simpsons Way PDF and you'll find it. I can't try to save my life, but I keep insisting on drawing. Well, drawing's fun. I don't blame you. I remember there's a whole cottage industry on YouTube when that Simpsons guideline got popular a few years back. Oh, really? That guideline was handed to me by Nate Cash when I was working on Adventure Time years ago. And I did find it pretty helpful. I like to draw, but my perfectionism definitely restrains me with it. I think the ephemeral nature of something like music makes it way easier for me to stick with. I always say to myself, with my art, I'm shooting for a B+. That's how I manage to move forward. Otherwise, I'd just be stuck chasing perfection. What you were saying about changing over time, I really got that same sense of CF's recent comic because it feels like he took different times in his life, knowing that it would charge in all these different ways, and it was pretty powerful stuff. When I didn't know he had a new comic. I saw he had a print. Oh, a new print for sale on his Instagram. He took different drawings from different times in his life and mixed them together, and that charged the drawings in a pretty unbelievable, powerful way. Who's the girl who was the main female comic artist within that Four Thunder crew? Do you know who I'm talking about, Ocheng? I forget her name. Mickey Z, yeah. Mickey Z. I don't know enough about Mickey Z. I think Mickey Z had some controversy or something like that. Maybe. Over the past couple of years. Oh, maybe Jessica Chioki. Let me see. One of them. I really like their art a lot. Jessica Chioki, maybe. Chiochi? Oh yeah, it's Jessica Chiochi, I'm pretty sure. I used to think her stuff was Ben Jones's stuff. I think that's why I got confused. They have like really similar cross-pollinating style. Chachi? Jessica Chachi? This kind of stuff. Back when the kids all dressed like this. There's Ben Jones and Jessica. I was just wearing Dickies and cutting my hair choppy. I wasn't down with the neon back then. All these Providence kids. I don't know who this guy is. Is that Matt Brinkman? Oh, Jacob. Okay. Ben Jones used to look a lot more colorful. Ben Jones, he created that show Problem Solvers, but he was also like a well-known indie comics sort of pioneer. Paper Rad fashion show.
Hi, my name's Ben. I represent new rave culture. My favorite house music is The Rapture, or anything on DFA basically. Really like the Strokes house music. I don't know what this music is. Bought this at Target. This isn't a fanny pack, it's actually medicine. Fuck you. This is my winter outfit. My mom got me this jacket. My sister sewed the sleeping Garf on the back. And underneath, this is the hat I've had since I was like 4 or something. I used to wear it on Halloween.
It's the Paper Red style. Now all the kids dress like they're going to basketball practice at the ICP concert. To be broad, speak broadly. You damn kids going to basketball practice at the ICP show? It's either you're like a frat kid, you're wearing slides with white socks and you've got the broccoli head, or and like big ass basketball shorts, or you're wearing big wide jeans and big wide jean shorts and like a tank top and like a gold chain or some shit, and you look like you're gonna go hunting at the same time, and also go to Gathering of the Juggalos. I personally like the business casual streetwear mix. I haven't seen that. Yeah, it's sort of like if the 90s came back, but we're like afraid to date. It's like the 90s came back, but nobody is fucking. That's my UNC assessment. Assessment. Did I ever dress like that? No, I dressed... In the 90s, I wore like Dickies and tight thrift store shirts. That's like basically how I dressed. Slacks, patent button up, modernized trench coats. Yeah, yeah. Gorpcore, for sure. They all dress like the... Yeah, so my friend Alex dresses like that. He like wears pleated slacks tucked in with a tank top and a chain and trench coat, stylish trench coat. And I'm not going to tell him. I'll sometimes go to hipster parties and with Alex, and then he'll be there like standing talking to some other like, you know, intellectual academic type bro, and that guy will look exactly, be wearing the exact same outfit, you know. And I do start to feel like I'm in some weird nature mating video, like some David Attenborough shit type shit. Hey, do what you gotta do, man. You know what I mean? Do what you gotta do to attract a partner. I've never heard it referred to as Gorpcore, though. That makes sense. I don't know what Gorp means, but it makes sense. It sounds like it makes sense. It's like that guy who makes those YouTube videos, Good Work, I think it's called. He dresses like that. Like a dude that works in finance but still skateboards. Well, I don't think you can lump all hipsters together in one, you know what I mean? They're all, everyone's, what do you call it? Contains multitudes. I don't know about Reggie Watts' ex's suicide. I don't know about that. I haven't heard. I wonder if Chester Brown, if like Chester Brown were in his 20s, if he would dress like a Gorpcore. Or if he would still be like fetishizing the 1940s. Can't believe how long this is taking me. Right. Gorpcore is granola slop fashion, and it's a subtle way of flexing wealth and left-leaning politics, kind of like how the wealthiest people in tech dress in Patagonia. Yes, I can see that. Like Joshua Citarella, who's got that podcast Doom Scroll, which is a super leftist socialist podcast, and he dresses Gorpcore. And he definitely flexes his sort of like affluent leftist academia style. It is just like flashing your status unconsciously, trying to attract your someone that shares the same class status, for sure. It's a little bit, it's kind of hypocritical, I would say. I don't think it's conscious. It's probably just like part of the mating game, you know? You can like signal being as lefty socialist as you can, but you're still flexing status and class to try to get in the sack, you know? And everyone desperately tries to be low-key, and I've noticed people in LA who try to be cool LARP as being poor, wearing thrifted clothes or clothes that are distressed to look old. I think people just kind of dress like slobs. That's trying to what I'm kind of getting at the like basketball hunting gear outfits that people like to wear, combined with like bohemian style like feather earrings and shit, and then gold chains, which is like, I don't know where exactly that's coming from. I feel like the gold chain thing was something I noticed in the tech sector like 5 years ago. Tech bros would wear gold chains, and like people like Logan Paul and shit, but now it's like transferred over to sort of like DSA hipster kids. But you know, it's just the internet, so all this stuff will just migrate over. When I was growing up, it was a turtleneck and gold chain. I think turtlenecks have always been threatening to make a comeback. I'm kind of into turtlenecks, but I don't wear them. But I should get some turtlenecks for the winter. Yeah, mating season's eternal. Looking for nice. Since I grew up so poor, my clothes are actually dumpy. The DSA poor person LARP really gets my goat. Yeah, that's always been a thing. That's also eternal. So poor LARPing. It's line boil number 2. I gotta color them white, but what's my preference now? To what? Fashion? I don't know. I just try to I'll wear PJs to the office. I'm not restricting my legs and jeans. Maybe this. I try to do this sort of like I call it Japanese Hobbit style, but I haven't like totally dialed it in. But it kind of comes together in the winter because I can layer stuff. Just sort of like Big Lebowski Japanese Hobbit style is what I kind of go for. These days, I don't know. I don't know who it's working for, but I'm trying to make it my like timeless presentation, like trying not to be tied to an era, just like deciding on a thing I like. One time, this one filmmaker, Stan Vanderbeek, showed up to my Darren's event in a turtleneck, and my Darren would sometimes get possessed with this one Haitian voodoo entity and yelled at him, "How dare you show up to my event in a turtleneck?" She did this horrible hex on him. Shit. That's pretty rough. I got hexed by a Roma person in Spain when I was in my 20s. Accordion playing lady. I was there on vacation with my girlfriend at the time, and we were eating outside at a cafe, and she came up to us and played her accordion, and we didn't give her money, and she got mad, and she made some hand gestures and said something in Spanish that I didn't understand, but apparently it was a curse. You got cured of the ailment. That's cool. It's not cool that she did a curse. Maya Deren. Did she make other films besides Meshes in the Afternoon? I feel like I don't know if I've seen anything else besides that by Maya Deren. Meshes just overshadowed everything else. Okay. Maybe I've seen her other films, but they got overshadowed by Meshes in the Afternoon. Because that's the good one. Hey, Alex Kidd. What's up? I don't know if I'm wasting my time doing these illustration boils, but maybe this is the last one I'll do. I don't know. I was thinking I would just do one a day up until my book release, because I don't have much else to do right now. Very focused on those lines I see. Yeah. In fact, I was born in Southeast Asia. What does that mean? That means Ritual and Transfigured Time. That sounds like a nice title. My pinky finger is getting like burned from the Cintiq. Do you want to tell us about your creative process when writing? Yeah, I can talk about that. So depends on what I'm writing for. Say if I'm writing for myself, I just try to think of like a collection of exciting scenes, images, themes, and I kind of wait for something to pop into my head, and I'm kind of like opening myself up to the whatever you want to call it, the muse. And I try to just keep the door open, and sometimes I do that by listening to really like loud repetitive music that helps put me into sort of a trance or semi-dream state, you know, where I can sort of let the ideas come in. And then I just have a pen and paper ready for when that happens, and then or even a laptop if I want to type it down. Sometimes a sketchbook if I want to draw images, and that's how I do it. And then I try to fit that into a structure that I think would have legs, like be able to write more than just a scene, would be able to write a whole sequence of scenes revolving around that idea. And then sometimes I think about things happening in my life that make me feel vulnerable, and I try to write about those things. Things that feel embarrassing, I try to write about those things. So part of writing for me is like, in a way, both like reaching upward toward the what I consider like the divine, and then another part is like almost like a confession at the therapist's office or something like that. This is my comic forming. Jesus 2 is coming along now. Got I'm working with the same people that helped me animate the short on YouTube. I can show you a bit of it. What's going on there? But I post a lot of the rough animation clips on my Discord. Let's see here. This is the one of the latest shots that came in. Oops. So this is rough tie down animation. Hey, where's my mouse? There it is. Of a teaser trailer I'm working on. It's just a 7-second shot, but file you loop. Yeah, it's Friday. That's the brother's older sister. So this is some like lore. Jesus 2 lore. You have random ideas that you try to make them fit into some type of idea, or you just gather and then see how they fit. I don't know. I think you know what it is. It all seems to fit. I don't know. Maybe because my brain is so like one, just like think about the same things. So all my themes sort of like line up. And I don't worry about ideas fitting because I just write about shit I care about, you know what I mean? So it all sorts of works out. Like I don't think of like, oh, here's an idea. Like some people think about story this way. They're like, oh, they think it's really structurally, and they're like, oh, okay, there's a guy and he's doing this and he's living this life that I personally have no connection to. I have to do a bunch of research just to even understand what it's like to be a garbage man or something like that, you know. And the garbage man gets caught up in the crime, and it's all this stuff that I don't know anything about. Um, so that's one way to write, is like premise writers, people who like think about it, they're like, this would be a cool premise for a show or a short or something, and they're very like conceptual. And I feel like the people who are premise writers are like, I think that people who are premise writers are oftentimes like materialists, if that makes sense. They're um like they're not living within themselves or something. If you're like Alan Sorkin and if you're just writing like, I'm going to write a script about Mark Zuckerberg's life, I'm like, sure, man, sure, go ahead, and I'm going to do it really well. I'm going to write a really tight script. And I'm like, um, there needs to be that sort of person in the world. But that's not me. That's not how I do it. So for me, it's like I have to write about, like, all my writing is an extension of my spirit. So it's all just going to line up somehow. So that's why I don't worry about random ideas I get, because they all live within a certain world anyway. So I can kind of be freewheeling and loose in the way that I write, and I don't worry so much about structure, because it all just seems to work out, because I'm like in alignment with my own beliefs and ideas and aspirations and faults, So that's my theory about writing. But I'm not the kind of writer that writes premise-based stories. So, meaning like from the point of view of like a secular materialist, which is how I see someone like Alan Sorkin. Whereas if you look at someone like John Boorman, who made a series of bangers from Deliverance to Excalibur to Exorcist 2 to Emerald Forest to what was the other one? Zardoz. You take that body of work and it all feels like within the same universe of aspirational belief. Even with something like Deliverance, which is so dark, there's like a seeking spiritual component to it. I don't think I could ever watch Deliverance again, but yeah, that's my hopefully that answers your questions about writing. And why I really don't sweat writing too much. The only thing is, like, I have to have an idea that feels like core to my interests, core to what I'm seeking in my own life. And then I can write about it pretty easily. If I'm writing for someone else, say if I'm writing on Adventure Time or something like that, if I'm writing for if I'm just storyboarding with where it's on a storyboard driven show, the process is a little bit different in that I'm working with an outline that I didn't write, and then I'm taking that premise, the 3-page outline, and I'm trying to imbue it with things I'm interested in and things I find funny or compelling, or like have like a resonant quality to them. Yeah, the director of Deliverance directed Zardoz. Yeah. John Borman is the man. Zardoz is fucking awesome. And Excalibur is probably my favorite movie, I would say. Yeah. I don't know what he did Point Blank, which was also good, but that was like an earlier gangster film, and I forget what else John Borman did. He did some movies afterwards. Well, I feel like he kind of fell off after Emerald Forest. But maybe I didn't give his later stuff a chance. I don't know. And then Emerald Forest kind of feels like Boomer, a little bit like a Boomer. Tourism, like spiritual tourism, but you know what? It's okay. Thanks for the follow. Anyway, this is a shot. Rough tie down that came in today from the dudes at Dinamita for the Jesus 2 trailer. seen so much bad animation and just bad stuff happen. Thankful for this niche community real talk. That's nice. Thanks, YOLO Xenophone. I try to monitor a little bit of my real talk sometimes because I feel like I borderline get myself in trouble talking shit. I try to, you know, my dad, a long time ago, my dad said, it's not about what you don't like, it's about what you like. And I try to keep that, in my memory. It's a wise saying. But the haterade comes out sometimes and I can't stop it, you know. If you can travel anywhere, money's not an issue, where would you go? Where would I go? I kind of want to go to Greece. I've been talking to my friend Alex, who dresses Gorp style, about going to Greece maybe in February or March. Boys trip. So some island, get an Airbnb on some Greek island, and chill and swim for like a week. That sounds like a nice getaway. I've never been to Greece. We'll see how my schedule pans out. And my parents are coming to visit me in January, so I don't know. See how my year pans out. If you could master the language, not gonna lie, I would travel to Iran. I'd like to see all the old, like, ancient temples and stuff like that in Iran. That would be cool. I'd like to, I don't know if I could ever get there, but I'd like to go to the big, how do you pronounce it? The big black stone Kaaba at Mecca. I don't know if I could get in there, but I want to touch that big black cube. You know what I'm saying? Let me touch that cube. I don't know anything about the lesbian space princess thing. I saw some video about it or something like that, and I didn't watch it because I was like, this seems like some like inside baseball shit that people are mad about. Some real internet type shit. It feels like if you use the internet, if you are of the internet, you'll be destroyed by the internet. That's what it kind of feels like to me. I never watched Velma either. That seems like another internet. If you use the internet, live by the internet, die by the internet kind of thing. I don't know. People really like fetishize things to get upset about it. I feel like that's sort of almost like getting upset about things is like there's so many things to get upset about in the world, and things like that become like almost like visual triggers for people. You know, people were really mad about bean mouths for a while, CalArt's bean mouths, and if you ever saw a bean mouth, that means like your cartoon is bad or whatever. It's like this like OCD sort of like fetishistic hatred towards like visual symbols of something. The culture war shit. And I might need a glove for my hand. This shit's starting to hurt. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Yeah, being terminally online is I think the main culprit of all like online drama. It's like a, you know, like a snake eating its own tail, basically. Stop being so terminally online. I don't know. It's a big ask. I feel like I'm online all day long too, so well, who am I to say? I just like try not to get caught up in it, you know, in the online discourse. And sort of like acknowledge when you feel like maybe you're being manipulated. Who's pulling the strings, you know, that kind of thing. It's hard to tell sometimes, or a lot of the time, I guess. But for a lot of the younger generation, like online online is reality, right? So there's no reality outside of the computer or the phone. So that means the stakes are high. It's a hard problem to deal with. It's like I don't think there's a cure for it, really. It's like the only cure for it is to actually turn off the internet, like actually shut it down, which is like how do you even do that? I don't really even understand how it works. There are these big cables that run under the ocean and stuff like that, like where you have to cut those cables or something. Why do we love to hate? I think it's easy. It's like that's like an old question that's like kind of answered in Star Wars, to be honest. Star Wars kind of like has the answer to that one. It's just easy and it's powerful. Easy to hate, hard to love. My older millennial coworker was telling me recently about a Twitter slap fight she was engaged in, to the point of hysterics, and her husband had to take her phone away. More and more of the population has no need to truly socialize or expanding their horizons. Yeah. I mean, I think there's times where hate, I don't know. I don't think hate is like useless, but it's definitely easier, faster, and probably leads to more problems than it solves, for sure. But maybe there is a place for hate. I don't know. Somewhere. I don't know. It exists. It exists for a reason. I don't know. Maybe it's just an obstacle we have to overcome. I have to overcome my own personal pettiness and hatred, you know, and try to like that's like a mountain I gotta climb. But sometimes it feels it's so fun to like be spiteful and petty. Sometimes it's hard to resist. I guess that's the whole thing. It's like you know, sugar that grows candida in your body. I think people are just too comfortable having their temper tantrums online with a following to support their outbursts, so it may be an issue of emotional intelligence. Yeah, I think the internet totally reduces emotional intelligence. What do I think about the simulation theories? What do I think about it? I think it's possible for sure. It's something you can't really rule out. There's definitely some like anecdotal proof of it. do I think that's what's going on? Intuitively, I don't think that's what's happening, but I can't, you know, there's no part of me really can like rule it out. So I'd say I'm at about a 30% on simulation theory, I would say. Oh, I just gotta do this line here. Let's raise this up here. Oh, wait, let me color pick this white here. Okay, and then we're gonna go boink, and then we're gonna go boink. We're gonna go. And color this all white. Let's see. Okay. Lots of lines, yeah. Just make the white a little bit inconsistent. Okay. Let's do line 2. Oops. Thanks, there's no horse in the atlas. So cool you catch you live. Your previous stream made an impact on me. Love the discussion about the free climb guy. And focusing on only your goals and interests, and it's really already changing my life. Oh. Thanks. I wish my words could change my own life. Sometimes. It's just like thinking out loud, you know? Okay. For me, there's a lot of weird things happening right now, so the simulation theory could maybe explain some of that. Like, what kind of weird stuff? Yeah, I'm doing promo material. Just wasting my time doing promo material here. Alright. Let's go. Line boil 1. Boink. Let's make these 0.2 seconds. And we go line boil, cloud boil 2. And then we go line boil, cloud boil 3. And then we'll let it rip. Dark there, so let's lighten that a little bit. I'm starting to see some people different, like not really conscious. I can tell that you are human. I don't even know you, but that's like a rise of weird people. What do you mean by weird people? All right, that's feeling pretty good to me. Let's save this as Cadmon. Is that how I spell that? Oh, K-A-D-M-O-N. Oh, it's alright. Alright, so then we can go file. Okay, so then we'll duplicate this for a couple seconds here. Export. Render video. Render. Like not really being here, not asleep like an autopilot. Like an autopilot. I mean, I feel like people have been talking about people being on autopilot for as long as I've been alive. That's not like a new phenomenon. Imagine it as a game server when we log on here to play. Some people remember who they are here, and some people keep playing without remembering. That doesn't really matter. It's more fun to vibe with those who remember more, but it's not like something bad happening. I don't know if it's good or bad. I find it kind of frustrating when it comes to, especially when it comes to art and creativity. But you want to like shock people into being present, you know. That's sort of what I think like someone like Captain Beefheart was trying to do, Don Van Vliet or whatever. He was talking about shocking people awake with his music. I think that's why when I was, you know, first really getting deep into music, I really liked music that changed rhythms all the time and changed like the keys they were playing in, or changed the genre of music that they were playing. Stuff that would shock, like turn corners really fast. And I always liked shocking edits and things like that in movies. I think for that reason. And still to this day, I kind of like jarring transitions and things like that because I'm trying to get people to pay attention. What's the thing? What's the phenomenon where you think you're the main character in life or whatever, and that everyone else is a NPC? What is that psychological state of mind called? Let me look it up. Main character syndrome? Yeah, but there's like a psychological word for it. There's like a when you think you're the only real person. Narcissism? No, it's not narcissism. Oh, solipsism. Solipsism. You can only prove your own thoughts exist. But solipsism can lead to sort of like borderline personality disorder stuff, like, you know, god complex and all that kind of stuff. You stop thinking that other people are living lives outside of your, you know, if you turn around you don't see them anymore, they don't exist anymore, kind of thing. Sort of like being in a video game. Main characters and NPCs. I mean, there's people in life who definitely behave like NPCs, but I don't know. In the time I've been alive, there have been some like major changes to the world that do feel like some sort of like shift into, and I think this is something people talk about a lot, but some, you know, people talk about worst timeline and stuff like that. And I do feel like the last, I don't know, 10 years have been some sort of like weird shift into a as the New Agers call it, low vibration timeline or something. But it's hard to say exactly. Maybe it's like also the curtain being pulled back is also revealing the timeline that was always there, that we were always on, you know? And now we just have to live with the disappointment of the reality we've always been living in. Yeah, just becoming more aware of the more depressing aspects of maintaining an empire, basically. Yeah, so now we can smell the shit, basically. The sewer opened and now we can smell the shit. So it's made living harder, but maybe there's more we can try to activate to do something about it. Speaking from Russia, same. Yeah. You would hope when the curtain gets revealed, when the curtain gets pulled back, you see something spectacular and beautiful instead of something vile. But there's another curtain behind the curtain of materialism. So, but then there's also that other curtain that the overlords are looking behind that might also be vile. The fucking Lake of Demons, bro. Maybe. Well, nice to talk to you on the stream, to someone living in Russia. Yeah, there's so much amazing stuff in the world, for sure. Sometimes it's hard to remember. Yeah, doomerism, yeah. It's all, yeah, the world has always felt like it's ending for as long as there's been a record of human writing. It seems like people are always fretting about the end of the world. Just that we have like more access to each other's thoughts and deeds than we've ever had, you know? And there's more people on the planet than there has ever been. Yeah, I think things are changing for sure. There's a shift happening. I think we're gonna... I do see... I can kind of see a light at the end of the tunnel somehow. I don't know if I'm being optimistic or not, but I do feel it intuitively. Something's changing. We'll see. We'll see how long the low point lasts. We'll see how long the all is lost part of the story goes on for before we can get to the resolution, you know, the happy ending. All right, well, it's almost 1 in the morning. I finished my little illustration boil here. Word. So I guess I'll call it a night. I'll play a little bit of Mortal Shell and then go to bed. We're not at the end of history, we're in the middle of it. Yeah, I mean, I could have been born at a time where I get like boiled alive in a pot, you know? Thank God I wasn't born at a time where I'd be some villager that gets boiled alive in a pot. I get to draw online and talk about things with people I've never met and make funny cartoons and comic books and indulge my artistic and philosophical interests, you know? And I've got a roof above my head and a cat and a family. So could be way worse. Just don't put me in that pot, please. Don't boil me alive in that fucking cauldron. I can't even imagine. Thanks, Jaybird. All right, take it easy, y'all. I'm gonna head out for the night. Have a good one. Bye.